Hello, I'm Catherine Braun from Sports Therapy and Rehabilitation, physical therapist, athletic trainer with Jessie Fuller. And we want to demonstrate for you some of the techniques that are important in this little rotator cuff strengthening and shoulder blade strengthening series. And we call this, on the ball drill, the alphabet pattern, because we're going to show one we call a T, an I, a W. These are the ones that we're going to show you, but we wanted to give you where all the technique and you can see what we're pointing at and what the techniques are, so that when you do this at home, you'll be able to pay a little bit more attention to the techniques to make this and not have the compensation patterns do the work for you, okay? So Jessie's gonna, like using one of these therapy physio balls at home or at the gym. Many people have these at the gym. He's gonna lay over it. So it's kind of underneath his belly area. Now, one reason why we use the ball instead of a bench is that you got lots of room to move versus laying on the floor on a mat. There's lots of excursion of motion without just banging at the top on the back of the shoulder. So the very first one we're gonna do is a very classic one we call T. And it's working the posterior deltoid, one of the big major muscles that caps over your rotator cuff underneath there. And he's gonna be down, and we've got the ball, we're gonna grab some weights, okay? We're just using two. Now, just on this whole series that we do, when you have long arm exercises, you don't do heavy weights, very different than short. So we're just talking about 2-pound dumbbells out here. And so here Jessie is, he's gonna go down into a T position with his arms. He's gonna start a little farther up, and he's going to just lift them up, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come a little more 90 degrees from the side. You see where this, you'll probably do this too the first time, is you'll drift down. And then we're gonna get closer to 90 degrees because we want this to go across here, this beautiful right here. You notice something Jessie's also doing. He knows to keep his head down at the ground, looking down for spine reasons. We can show him what we don't wanna do, which would be like up and looking up, not good for the neck and the spine. So he's gonna look right down, probably like at the front of the ball, okay? And then back down again. Okay, here we go. Different people, we have different hold counts and stuff like that. Typically I'm using like a 3-count hold for technique. Up Jessie comes, like that, and back down. This is what we call T, okay? You can imagine the T picture. Now, some of the things, we go ahead and drift down slightly. So after on the shoulders when you lift up. Okay, so after you're doing about 5 of them, everyone looks great for the first 3 to 5, and I'm gonna show you when you start getting droopy with the shoulders and you down a little bit at the side. So a lot of people, you can see the side angle, you lost the crisp 90-degree armpit angle, and it's going down, and you're recruiting some other muscles down here in the back to do that lift. Come back down. So next one he's gonna do, he's gonna come up into the T again. I'm gonna say more crisper 90 degrees. Now the trick on this is that when you're coming up like this and you're trying to get this crisp 90 and you're trying to get that line right across what we call the posterior deltoid of the shoulder, is not using the trapezius, the neck muscles. Okay, back down. Everyone wants to lift this because we're doing the exercises when people have weak posterior deltoids. So everyone wants to recruit their neck muscles. So here we go up again, and what we're gonna do is even beforehand, Jessie's gonna recruit a little shoulder blade action. Yeah, that automatically brought everything down into the middle of the back. A little shoulder blade squeeze first, now you come up into the T. That is fantastic. His neck is more relaxed, thinking about the shoulder blades going down a little bit. Beautiful T position, back down again. So I sometimes have people, if you tend to feel that you're getting this too much into your neck, do a little bit of a shoulder blade tuck down first, then come up and do the pattern. 2, 3, and down. Okay? And you'll figure with your physical therapist, your hold counts, your repetitions, and all that. Now, the other thing on this is that you notice Jessie's doing it with his palms to the ground, okay, when he's doing this. When he comes up, show that again, like the palm, the weights, that way, and it's just going down to the ground. Now, a little more challenging one, after you've done this for a little bit of time, is to add the rotator cuff into this picture. So the difference is your thumb's gonna be going up. So as you're gonna change the direction, now he comes up, he goes, and there he is. Not, we don't want to drift too high up, but you see how that whole shoulder, his whole rotator cuff is engaged trying to do this, and back down. So we ask the shoulder to use posterior deltoid plus the rotator cuff to hold it up there. That's a tough exercise, very advanced. Again, again, one more time. You can show that one. Okay, and up, rotator cuff, posterior deltoid, all working. And Jesse's got it out of his neck a little bit. It's more down in here. Fantastic. Okay, back down. Next one we're going to do is in the alphabet pattern. That's T. We go one called I. I, as you can imagine, is straight down next to the body. And just a little heads up, which Jesse already knows to do, is that when you're on a ball, which is wobbly, is that doing a V stance with your leg, that kind of keeps you stable on this, all right? So you pick what kind of a stance feels comfortable to you. And we're going to bring it down so you're not too extended. Here what he's going to do is he's going to lift up with his thumbs pointing down, and this is going to use some shoulder blade muscles and back down, okay? The eyes right next to the body. Now, what's a little tricky, up he comes for the eye, up he comes, just clearing over the buttocks, okay? Now, here's the hard part, is trying to pull in so you're like over your gluteal, over your buttocks muscles. This requires, not up here, lower part of your trapezius requires a huge amount of lower trapezius tone to do this, and then back, out, and down, okay? And up again, 1, 2, 3, out, and let it go all the way back down to rest. And a little bit of resting down on the chest and stuff. This is tough stuff. You're gonna fatigue pretty quickly on this. That's A-okay to be a rest position on that, okay? Now I'm gonna show the more advanced version of this also. Same idea as with the T, rather than the arms just coming at the side, we're gonna turn and the palms are gonna be floating, pointing to the floor. So now we're gonna go right to the eye. We're gonna go the eye, go back with the eye, but the palms are gonna be down. So the eye is like this. That's very, very tough. Rotator cuff, shoulder blade action, deep into the back, out and down, okay? That's engaging the rotator cuff in this exercise. Right to the eye position, but look at the difference. The difference is in the hands. And this pulling together is a very challenging thing to do. Okay, super. The last one we're gonna do on the ball is what we call the W. And we're gonna set the weights down. This is again a combined motion pattern, and it's very challenging to do. And the W, as the imagery kind of implies, is gonna be coming like this. We're gonna be doing lots of rotator cuff movement, lifting up. Elbows are going to stay down. They're not up at 90 degrees in this armpit angle. They're down here to the side so you don't bang at your shoulder. So what it looks like is a little hint of setting with the shoulder blade, okay, a little bit down in the middle of the back. He's going to go into this W position with his hands, and he's kind of just lift up like this. Now, Jesse's got some pretty good strength and he can demonstrate this, okay? Is that many of you, when you're doing this, is you're going to look a little droopy like this. You got the arms up, you got the big muscles back here you've been working on. Your rotator cuff isn't so strong. So this is a tough thing to try to get that forearm parallel with the ground that you see Jesse doing, and then down and back and rest, okay? Let's do that again. So the ideal world, if you look down, this is the W going out and opening up a little bit so we don't recruit too much biceps tones to help out. This is a tough exercise. Body wants to recruit a lot of other things. See that nice, beautiful parallel? And then you come back down and think. So this exercise, we're gonna kind of show it a little bit like a little wrong, okay? Where your elbows are leading a little too much, okay? It looks like that too much, okay? So trying to, as you come up, keep that forearm up, almost like knuckles. I'm okay with knuckles leading to the ceiling. Like if you wanna engage like a little bit in here to actually help a little bit in that forearm tone, that's not bad. Keeping it down so it's not too high on the shoulder and back down. This is what we call W, a very challenging exercise because of the combined movement. Again, combined movements and having multiple muscles working in sequence is all about what the shoulder is needing to do to keep you from having irritation. So that's a cool one, W. You notice no weights on that, okay? Very rarely do we have a little weight, maybe a 1 pounder or something like that. That's a very hard exercise, directly pulling on the rotator cuff. All right, hopefully that gave you some cues and some clues on how to do this exercise better, and hope you enjoy working this for your shoulders and your upper body. Take care.